Before we begin, let me just state a disclaimer. This video is not sponsored, nor do I endorse the product herein in order to receive any compensation. This is simply for educational purposes. For beginners, especially for students who simply want to try AI rendering, generating proper images is proven to be rather expensive. Yes, most online rendering providers offer free trials, but with only a maximum of 3 or 5 renders per day. If you are lucky, you might get the result you want immediately. But normally with AI, you need several iterations to get the best result closest to what you envisioned. Sometimes it can get as close to 100. AI rendering is a guessing game. If you want to continue generating more iteration, you need to pay for a subscription. Almost all of them will tell you their subscription price for a month, but will actually charge you for a year's subscription. For someone who's only experimenting and not getting remuneration in return, it is a waste of a lot of money. The other alternative is to install Stable Diffusion locally to your computer. The thing with locally installed AI image generator is that not only it's tedious and complicated, but also requires a deeper learning curve. You need to install Python, you need to install Git, etc. Here's the secret though. Ready? AMD quietly released a streamlined software built on Stable Diffusion under Stability AI called Amuse.
Amuse is from New Zealand, like me, and you can download it from amuse-ai.com. Amuse is optimized to be used with AMD hardware but will work on any Windows PC. The more powerful your build is, the faster it runs, and if you have the latest AMD hardware, you'll get even more features.
As a benefit of buying their product, Amuse AI is configured to work best with AMD graphics cards, notably the 7000 and 9000 series. However, lesser tier cards can also be used with it. You just have to deal with slower rendering time. Great! Well, what about the vast majority of us whose computers use NVIDIA GPUs instead of AMDs? Fret not, I have discovered that it also works. The only caveat is that you need to have an ample amount of patience. At least you're not paying for anything though, right? I have tried running it on both a high-end all-AMD machine and a relatively low-end computer with Intel NVIDIA configuration. If you want to know about the exact configurations of both computers I used, watch till the end or check out the description box below. Let's get right at it. Search for Amuse AI on your browser. Click the first link that appears, then click on the button that says Download Amuse V 3.1. You will notice that it says works with Windows PC and optimized for AMD hardware. Again, if you have Intel NVIDIA, you don't have to worry. Find the downloaded exe file and install it. Agree to the terms and conditions and follow through the rest of the installation process, which doesn't take long. Launch the application. Before you get too excited and start generating images right away, there are a couple of things we need to do first. Look for the Expert Mode button at the lower left side of the application panel. Click on it and click on Model Manager. We first need to download a base model and an improved model or a refiner before we can generate anything. An AI model is sort of like a database from where the AI determines its output based on certain algorithms. Different models produce different results, albeit different styles. For the base model, we'll download the SDXL model. For AMD users, look for the one with AMD logo and click SDXL for AMD GPU. For NVIDIA users, choose the one with Stability.ai thumbnail and choose Stable Diffusion XL. In your own time, sometime later, you can experiment with other models, but for this tutorial, we will only work with SDXL. For the refiner, we'll be working with Beyond Imagination XL. Make sure that it has the XL extension or suffix since our base model is the XL. Downloading models will take a while as they are a little bit heavy. I will no longer show the download process since I've already downloaded them, as you can see. And besides, it's going to take more time for this tutorial that we don't need. Another thing we need to download is ControlNet. ControlNet is a neural network structure that adds additional conditions to govern diffusion models. In other words, it allows us to control AI and manipulate it to produce as close as possible to what we want. AI, without certain level of control, will only spew out random images based on its interpretation of the given prompt. It is all guesswork. In architecture, this is not acceptable. We need as precise rendering to the actual design as much as possible. When our 3D model is ready and all we need to do is work around it, we rely on ControlNet. Look for Union SDXL. Again, make sure it has the SDXL extension. Union is the most optimal ControlNet model for Amuse, so it's what we will be using for this tutorial. You can experiment with the others in your spare time. With these two models downloaded, we can already start working on our images, but if you want to elevate your work further, you can also opt for an upscaler. Upscaler, as the name suggests, is a tool to improve on the image quality by converting the image to higher resolution. Let's pick Ultra Sharp 4X. This will upscale our image 4 times. ControlNet and upscale models take only seconds to download. Once everything is downloaded, we can finally start to have fun. And I know you're excited, so let's go. Click on the image generation and start with text to image. We use text to image when we want inspirations for our design. It means we haven't come up with anything yet. We only want to have something to jump off from and to trigger our creative juices. Under Model Selector, click on Beyond Imagination and load it. Every time you select a model, do not forget to click the Load button. This is assuming you also downloaded other models to play around with. As you can see here, I have already downloaded several models. But on your screen, you will only see Beyond Imagination since it is the only model you have downloaded so far. Before you enter any prompt, go down to the Resolution box and select your desired resolution. You can choose between vertical, square, and horizontal. Let's pick a standard rectangular format in landscape mode. Click 1280 by 832. Leave the rest as is and proceed to the prompt box. Now enter your prompt. The key to generating the best image output relies on how you compose your prompts. Describe it as detailed as you can. Let's try. Photo of a modern 2-story house with minimalist character. Concrete wall finished with wood accent. Large glass windows. Late afternoon sunset setting. Warm color ambiance. Architectural photography. In normal view from street. Shot with a wide angle lens. Beautiful trees in the background in early autumn. Leave the negative prompt. We don't need it for architecture. Now click on Generate. It's going to take a bit of time for its first run, but once it's familiar with the algorithm of the loaded models, it's going to be a lot faster next. There you go. You have your first image. If you're not happy with it, click Generate again and again. You can continue generating more images until you are somewhat satisfied with the result. You can also play around with other parameters, but for this video, we'll skip that. But we can also update our prompt to provide more information and improve on the result. For example, let's add with a 15-meter frontage with a carport, and at the end, wet asphalt road for a more dramatic effect. Click Generate again. What about if we completely change the architecture? While we're at it, let's also change the time of day. Let's say, photo of a modern house with neoclassic design inspired by French Renaissance, with wrought iron railings. Mid-morning setting. Beautiful trees in the background. In early spring. Amazing, isn't it? Now let's try image to image. This is where we use AI to render a view of our 3D model. It means we already have our 3D model and have chosen which view to render. Click on the Image to Image button. Remember, select and load the model again. Check the ControlNet box and click Load. Select the image size and orientation and upload your reference image. I will upload a 2D image from a SketchUp model I did. Let's edit the prompt we used earlier to match the character of our current SketchUp image. To get the closest to our reference image as possible, we need to increase the ControlNet value. By increasing this number, we are telling AI to make minimal adjustments. By reducing the number, we are telling AI to go crazy on its own and be creative as possible. But this also means AI will have the freedom to interfere with our design. We don't want that. Let's start with the default setting, which is 70. And now let's try 80. That's more like it. Let's turn it into day. To view all previous rendering, click History View. Here you will see all the iterations you did since you opened Amuse. As you can see, we've already generated several images without even paying for a single cent. And we can continue to do so to our heart's content. Choose one you like best and click on the Send to Upscaler. Load the upscaler model, the one we downloaded earlier, Ultra Sharp 4X, and click Execute. Save the image, and you're done. How about it? Did you like it? Do you think AI will be so good that we won't need rendering software anymore? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if in any way of this video benefited you, please click the like button and subscribe if you hadn't already. Catch you on the next one.
Thank you.